What's going on, YouTube? Roxas The ToRtErRa here, and we're bringing you another showdown battle. Wait, we're not bringing you a showdown battle. Actually, we're bringing you post commentary. And guess who I'm facing? The Shadypenguinn, actually. So, how this happened was Twitter. So, Shady sometimes sends out tweets asking for different tier battles, and today he wanted to do PU. So I was like, let me try and see if I can get a battle. So I tweeted out my friend code, and lucky enough, finally I got to get a battle with him, because I've been trying to get a battle with him for a long time, even before I started my channel. So it's really cool that he accepted, and I actually have a channel now, so it's like I could finally like at least battle him, and I could actually probably just record something with him and then just put it up there. So I think this is really cool. It's a fun battle. I made a lot of misplays because I was really excited. I did terrible in this game, and I'm really competitive in Pokemon, so I'm surprised I made such bad mistakes. If you've seen my Showdown videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty good at doing competitive Wi-Fi as well, because it's not too far off from Showdown. It's basically the same thing. But yeah, this was fun. PU format, it was fun. Like I said, it was mostly just misplays that I had that costed me, but that costed me almost some of the mistakes. Some of these mistakes I made, it costed me big time. So hey, I don't know. I was just really excited to face Shadypenguinn, so it was really cool. And for those of you that don't know Shadypenguinn, you can check out his channel. I mean, I don't have a link in my description below, but you guys can check his channel out. Just type in Shadypenguinn. I'm sure if you're watching this, you've definitely been seeing Shadypenguinn by now. So check it out. Check him out if you haven't checked him out yet. He's really good. He's awesome. I watched him grow from I don't remember when I subscribed to him. I think I subscribed to him when he was like maybe like 3,000 subs in, or a little bit more than that, and then he just skyrocketed, and he's like over 100,000 by now. He's over 100,000 now. Yeah. So yeah, he's really good. So I hope you guys enjoy this battle. I'm gonna actually be doing post commentary. So let's start. This is gonna be my first post commentary as well. So also, I'm sorry about the quality. I don't have a capture card yet, but I will get one soon. Alright. So the battle is beginning. There's Shady in all his shady glory. So I start off with ToRtErRa, because I think, I'll start off with ToRtErRa so I can use Stealth Rocks. Why not? He throws up a barrel. I already know he's going to start with it. I kind of knew he was going to start with this, so I started with ToRtErRa. And yeah, I knew he was going to set up Stealth Rocks, so I go for my Stealth Rocks as well. This play was kind of bad for me, because at the same time, I could have sent out my Mothim, switched him out into it, so I could avoid my Sash getting broken, but I didn't do that. So he sends out Ivysaur, and I go for a Woodhammer. I went for Woodhammer, off the basis of knowing Light Bulb would come in, Light Bulb Ivysaur. I knew it would come in, so I went for that. But at the same time, I thought afterwards, I was like, that was kind of not smart. Why didn't I just go for Earthquake instead? I think Earthquake would have did a little bit more damage than Woodhammer. So I say, alright, no, I'm gonna switch. And I'm like, you know what, let me go into Dust to Dawn, my Dusknoir, because it's my special wall. So he goes for a Sludge Bomb after this. And I'm like, that's fine, because it's resisted. So there goes. He goes for a Sludge Bomb. And I'm just like, okay, I'm kind of afraid. I'm also holding leftovers, but I'm kind of afraid that he's going to go for a Sleep Powder. So I switch out. And I'm like, wait, why would I switch out and go into Glaceon? And I'm like, oh my god. So I go into Glaceon. And I'm like, oh, why did I do that? Why did I switch into Glaceon? Why? So he Sleep Powders, and he hits the Sleep Powder. And it's bad because I'm Scarfed. So my Scarfed user is asleep now. Any potential sweep I could have had with her is gone. So I'm like, ugh. He sends in Nova. I try to burn a turn of sleep. Nova is power. Nova, the Flareon's power. So yeah, so he's Toxic Orb, and he automatically, I know that he has Guts. So I switch, and I'm just like, I can't do anything else, so let me go into ToRtErRa here. And ToRtErRa's gonna definitely get a one-shot by this. He's a super effective, so I was just like, oh boy, oh well, I have nothing else. But my plan also was to take the Flare Blitz with all my HP investment. Flareon should be taken down by a lot with the recoil. So he knocks me out and one-shots me, and I'm like, okay, let's see how much damage you take. Look at how much recoil damage that was, plus the poison. from his own Toxic Orb. Look at that damage that it took. Intense. So I'm like, you know, let me go into Dusk Till Dawn, my special wall. I know it's kind of bad because it's specially defensive. So I'm like, you know what, I don't know, I'm going to try to burn off some turns with Dusk Till Dawn. But at the same time, I go for Protect. But at the same time, I was thinking, Flareon's really slow. Why didn't I go into something else so I can attack it? Even if he were to switch, that would be perfectly fine. I just need him to switch. I wasn't really thinking at this point. So he takes toxic damage, and I protect it. So I'm like, oh. Then I go for another Protect to see if I can protect and like get more toxic damage off. Nope. He goes straight for another Flare Blitz. And knocks me out, obviously. So I was like, oh boy. I already see how this battle's gonna go. There goes Flareon. Flareon faints. I'm like, oh boy. So I'm like, okay. He goes into somebody named Sucker Punch. I'm like, Sucker Punch? And he goes, it's Electrode. I'm like, oh boy, Electrode. So I go into Scar, my Luxray. And I'm like, Sucker Punch, okay, that's nice. But I'm like, Electrode is one of the fastest Pokemon in this game, so I'm not going to be able to outspeed this thing. So he goes for a Volt Switch. I kind of figured, so I just stayed in. We eat that up because we're on the same... We didn't really eat it up too well, which makes me believe it was probably Specs. So he goes back into Light Ball, but I'm like, I kind of figured you would do that. You probably thought I was going to go for Electric type move. So I go for a Crunch. So I go for the Crunch for neutral damage, because my ability is also Guts. Just like Flareon, and I get my Flame Orb off now, and I know I outspeed, so I go for Facade, right? So Facade, of course, is going to knock Bulbasaur out here. I mean, Ivysaur out here. So, Ivysaur goes down. Yeah. So at this point, he goes right back into Electrode, and I'm like, huh. Okay. So, me not thinking, I go for Crunch, and he goes for T-Ball. Of course he outspeeds. So he goes for T-Ball. I'm like, oh my god. So I live, and then I'm like, okay, Crunch. I'm like, wait, why did I go for Crunch? I should have went for Facade. Facade is doubled. I would have definitely knocked out this Electrode. And look at how much damage I have. I have 3. So I would have lived and knocked him out. So like, oh my god. I wonder what would have happened if I knocked it out. What would I have used? What would he have used? What would he have gone into? I feel like he would have gone. He would have already went straight into Dusknoir, but I have Crunch, so he could have just protected and burned me out. I go into Elsa. She's asleep. I try to wake up. No, don't wake up. I didn't wake up. I outsped because of Scarf, but I tried to wake up. No, she didn't wake up. So I go into Chatot, and I'm like, oh, I know I'm outsped, so I pretty much lost this game. So I'm like, oh well. Then he goes for Thunderbolt again, and there we go. Chatot is out. Chatot's out. Chatot's out. Chatot is such a good Pokemon too. I didn't get to show off any of my Pokemon here because I misplayed so horribly. And then I throw Mothim out, and Mothim gets the Stealth Rock. This is what I was referring to earlier. So he T-bolts my Mothim, and of course Mothim faints. So yeah, don't mess with Electrode. Electrode's super fast. It's one of the fastest Pokemon in the game. I have to believe that it was Specs. So yeah. That's how that battle ended, but it was overall a fun battle. I had fun, but it was crazy when I had to try to figure out what to switch into next. I wasn't too ready for all the things he had. But looking at his team, his special wall was... I could assume that his special wall was Dusknoir, and then he has another wall which was Ivysaur. I'm not too sure about the Piloswine, but I know Piloswine can be very defensive, but it also has Ice Shard for the priority. So even if I did have Luxray after I knocked out his Electrode, he probably went to Piloswine and Ice Shard. And then just looking at the rest of my team, you can already tell that I had only Glaceon, Mothim, and Chatot left. So even though if that had happened, if I had knocked out Electrode, he could have still taken out my Mothim and my Chatot. And possibly even Glaceon, because you can get Rock Slide and you can get Earthquake and all that for Piloswine, so it was probably still knocked out my Glaceon anyway. Glaceon was a really big misplay when I switched into Glaceon from Dusknoir, because if he had Sleep Powdered me, that would have been fine. But at the same time, one of my biggest misplays was actually sacking off ToRtErRa because he had a Flareon. But at the same time, it wasn't so bad because ToRtErRa was my physical wall. He had the most HP, so I was just thinking that recoil damage would pretty much do Flareon in. It did a good job, but Flareon stood up tall still and still knocked out my other wall afterwards. So it was pretty much too bad. Couldn't do anything about it. Same thing with Bibarel. Another thing with Bibarel is that I misplayed really big there. I already knew he was going for Stealth Rock. I even told myself he's going to go for Stealth Rock. but I stayed in with ToRtErRa and went for my own stealth rock. Actually, if I wanted to make a better play, I could have actually switched into Malthum and kept my stash and went for a Quiver Dance, and then whatever he wanted to switch into next would have been pretty much feudal. I mean, he could have switched into a Dusknoir just thinking off the basis of its if it was actually his special wall and taken some hits for a while, but I would have used Air Slash and tried my best to flinch him. And even if he had went into Electrode that it resists Air Slash, I should still have outsped it with the one Quiver Dance setup, and I could possibly get off the hacks with it with Air Slashes, or even using my other moves like Psychic or a Bug Buzz. Who knows? But I think the real big misplay here was actually setting up Stealth Rock along with Bibarel. I could have actually knocked Bibarel out with a Wood Hammer right then and there and got rid of Bibarel. At least one Pokemon would have been down. And then, yeah, he could have... I mean, I wouldn't have Stealth Rocks up, and he would have been free to pretty much jump into anything at that point, but I wasn't really thinking about that. Shady automatically jumped into Ivysaur because he saw how I was playing right from the moment that I used Stealth Rock. He knew exactly how I was going to play, so he knew right away after I did Stealth Rock that I was going to go for an attack. I should have actually switched right then and there because I knew he was going to switch because he already set up. There was no reason for him to stay in against ToRtErRa. He could get attacked by ToRtErRa, so I pretty much knew he was going to switch. So I could have actually switched into Glaceon right then and there as well. Went for like a Ice Beam or something, even though his Ivysaur is bulky. But that's pretty much it for this game, for this battle here, this game. Overall, I did a poor job. I could have did a lot better, but I had fun facing Shadypenguinn. This is my first time facing him, and I do hope to face him again. And if you guys don't know Shadypenguinn, search him on YouTube, and you'll see all his videos. So, hey, he's really good. I enjoyed the fight. We're going to wrap up the video here. So, Mach Punch that like button like an Infernape and destroy it. Leave a comment in the section below, and subscribe if you enjoyed. And I'm out. Bye!